On the afternoon of March 25, 2021, a 911 dispatcher in Ohio answered a call and heard a man plainly confess, "I just killed my son." The call came from a home tucked inside a quiet, tree-lined neighborhood in Parma, Ohio. The block looked entirely peaceful, but inside one of these homes, an entirely routine afternoon had collapsed into a brutal, fatal attack in the span of just 28 minutes. The victim was 5-year-old Jax Ponomarenko. Jax was on the autism spectrum, nonverbal, and relied completely on a digital tablet to communicate with the world around him. Earlier that day, Jax's mother dropped him off at the house. She left him safely playing on his tablet under the sole supervision of his father, Matthew. When Jax's mother pulled out of the driveway, everything appeared normal. The central question of the investigation was how the afternoon escalated so violently in under half an hour. The clock starts at 12:10 p.m. Jax's mother drives away. Jax is inside playing games on his tablet, and Matthew heads out to the backyard to smoke a cigarette. For nearly half an hour, there is no record of what occurs in the house. Then, at 12:38 p.m., Matthew sends a text message to Jax's therapist, abruptly canceling their scheduled afternoon appointment because he claims he is feeling sick. Moments later, Matthew leaves the yard, walks into the garage, and pulls a baseball bat from the back. He returns inside, walks into the middle room, and proceeds to strike his son in the head and face. Jax, unable to speak, cannot call out for help. Neighbors later reported hearing loud, disturbing noises echoing from the property. Matthew then dials 911. When officers arrive at the scene, he refuses to take his hands out of his pockets, forcing the police to deploy a taser before taking him into custody. From the moment Jax's mother left to the time Matthew sent the text canceling the appointment, only 28 minutes had passed. Inside the interrogation room, detectives try to coax an explanation out of Matthew by leaning into his reputation. They repeatedly assure him they know he is a good dad who loved his son. Matthew leans on a medical excuse. He tells the police he recently stopped taking his prescribed psychiatric and addiction medications, claiming he was hearing voices and suddenly snapped. But the police quickly uncover a history that contradicts the image of a stable father. 4 years prior, in 2017, Matthew was charged with child endangerment after he left a 1-year-old Jax sitting alone in the middle of a street. Despite pressing him for hours, the detectives cannot extract a concrete trigger for the violence. Matthew simply claims he doesn't know why he did it, describing his own state of mind as completely emotionless. Matthew pointed to his mental health history, but the interrogation ended without him offering a single specific reason for the attack. The detectives pushed for a catalyst, but they were met only with his admission that he felt nothing at all. 2 years later, Matthew abandons the psychiatric defense. He enters the Cuyahoga County Courthouse, pleading guilty to aggravated murder, kidnapping, and endangering children. The prosecutor secures a massive penalty. Matthew is sentenced to life in prison, and he won't even be eligible for a parole hearing until he serves a minimum of 45 years. The sentencing closed the case, but it provided no new information for the family left behind. Matthew accepted the prison term without ever clarifying what triggered the violence. Matthew Ponomarenko was supposed to spend the vast majority of his life inside a cell. Instead, he served less than 3 years. A spokesperson for the Ohio Department of Rehabilitation and Corrections released a brief statement, confirming that Matthew was found dead in his cell from an apparent suicide. He escaped his 45-year sentence. By taking his own life, he ensured that the details of that 28-minute window went with him, leaving the community with no further answers.